Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, June 28, 2021. Monster show today. NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball, WNBA, UEFA College World Series, Wimbledon, golf, NASCAR. We'll talk a little spelling bee, MLB power rankings, the latest news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, NBA playoffs. We will go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's game. So without further ado, here we go. Friday night, Bucks over the Hawks, 125-91 to even up that series at 1 apiece. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 25 points and 9 boards. Trae Young only had 15. He was just dreadful in that game. And Saturday, the Suns over the Clippers, 84-80, take a 3-1 series lead. Devin Booker had 25 points, and Paul George, 23, 16 and 6. And then yesterday, the Bucks over the Hawks, 113-102 to take a 2-1 series lead. Chris Middleton, 38 points, 11 boards. Trae Young, 35 points, so he bounces back after a rough Game 2. And then at 9 o'clock on ESPN tonight, you have the Clippers and the Suns. Game 5. It's going to be a ruckus atmosphere there in Phoenix. I project the Suns by 13 because of no Kawhi Leonard. Total 221.5. I know those are big numbers. And it is 5.5. And let's see the total here, guys. I believe it's like around what I had. 214. That's really low. I have a huge edge on the Suns in the over. My gut tells me this ends tonight. They're just not the same without Kawhi. Paul George really can't do it by himself. So, I don't know if the Suns will cover or not. But I think that the Clippers' offense will be a little bit better since no Kawhi. I think that they may hit some threes, and the Suns can hit some threes. So the three-pointer threat, I'm going to go over 214. And maybe I will parlay that with the Suns minus 5.5. But the play for the podcast, over 214 between the Clippers and the Suns in Game 5. All right, the Stanley Cup playoffs. We will go over the results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to what tonight is Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. And I'll make a pick for the series as well. So Friday night, the Lightning beat the Islanders 1-0 in Game 7 to win that series. The number 3 starting game didn't have a point. Barclay Goodrow. Number 2 starting game didn't have a point. Ryan McDonough. The number 1 starting game with the game-winning short-handed goal, Yanni Goudreau, to send the Bolts to the Stanley Cup Final for the second consecutive year. And that short-handed goal was assisted by Anthony Cirelli and Alex Kohler. So Tampa's in for a second year in a row. Montreal's in for the first time since 1993. Offensively, the Bolts have a huge edge. Yes, there's injuries concerns on the Bolts with Nikita Kucherov. And if he's not healthy, I still think the Bolts can win the series. But it won't be easy. And even if he's there, it might not be easy. Montreal is on this magical ride. Cole Caulfield, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Joel Armia, Paul Byron. All those guys are leading the way. And then on the fence, they have Jeff Petrie. And most importantly, Shea Weber, the captain. And then Carey Price has been money in these postseason games, and he has to be the favorite for the Conn Smythe Trophy at the moment. I won't be shocked if the Lightning win, but Carey Price wins the Conn Smythe. And obviously, Andre Vasilevsky's been money as well in the postseason. And defense on the Bolts side has been good, led by Ryan McDonough as well. Braden Point's also been money for Tampa in the postseason. Mikhail Sergeyev's awesome. Victor Hedman is still on the best in the business. The Bolts are so deep defensively. Montreal has just been doing it all playoffs long. Their defense has been money too. Like I said, led by Weber Petrie and Ben Sherratt. And they have other good role players. Tyler Toffoli's been in a lot of big games. Brendan Gallagher. Terry Lehkonen scored the series winner on Thursday night. Nick Suzuki's a good young player. Corey Perry's been in a lot of big games. Eric Stahl's been in a lot of big games. Josh Anderson was a great offseason addition. Philip Deneau's a good player. And the Lightning are just loaded offensively. So Montreal's offense has been a lot better than folks had anticipated in the series. And in terms of a pick for the series, I'm going to go with the Lightning in 6. I think that this Cinderella ride that is the Montreal Canadiens will finally come to an end. This team won't quit. They have like an it factor about it. And it's plus 415 for Lightning in 6. The favorite is Lightning in 5 at plus 365. I'm going to go Lightning in 6 plus 415, just over 4-1. So there you have it. Lightning in 6 is the pick. And then for tonight, the Lightning are minus 195. Montreal's plus 165. Over under 5. Over's minus 125. Under's plus 102. Montreal plus 1.5 is minus 167. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 140. I'm going to go with a different pick. I'm going to go under 5 plus 102. I don't think there's going to be many goals today. I feel like there's going to be a lot of nerves, especially from Montreal's end of it. This is the furthest Carey Price has ever been in his career. I know the Lightning have had some big game guys in the past, as I mentioned while previewing the series. But I think that this is either a 3-1 game, a 2-1 game, something like that. So I'm going to go under 5 plus 102 for the pick, and those odds are brought to you by DraftKings. All right. Now I'm going to go over the Major League Baseball results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to the games for tonight. Brewers over the Rockies 5-4 at 11 on a walk-off sacrifice fly by Keston Hiura. Mets over the Phillies 2-1 in 8 on a walk-off single by Dominic Smith. Orioles over the Blue Jays 6-5 and 10. Rays over the Angels 4-3. Braves over the Reds 3-2. Red Sox over the Yankees 5-3. Marlins over the Nationals 11-2. Phillies over the Mets 2-1 in 8. Doubleheader game 2. Rangers over the Royals 9-4. Twins over the Indians 8-7. Mariners over the White Sox 9-3. Pirates over the Cardinals 5-4. Giants over the A's 2-0. Padres over the Diamondbacks 11-5. And the Dodgers over the Cubs 6-2. Astros Tigers postponed to Saturday. Saturday's results: Tigers over the Astros 3-1 in 7 doubleheader game 1. Mariners over the White Sox 3-2. Cardinals over the Pirates 3-1. Blue Jays over the Orioles 12-4. Rangers over the Royals 8-0. Rays over the Angels 13-3. Reds over the Braves 4-1. Brewers over the Rockies 10-4. Mets over the Phillies 4-3. Marlins over the Nationals 3-2. Astros over the Tigers 3-2 and 7. Cubs lose to the Dodgers 3-2. Red Sox over the Yankees 4-2. Giants over the A's 6-5 and 10 on a walk-off double by Kurt Casale. And the D-backs over the Padres 10-1. So the road losing streak ends at 24 games. So that road losing streak was going on for over a month. And then Indians-Twins postponed makeup date September 14th. Yesterday's results: Mariners over the White Sox 3-2. Seattle 41-37. Chicago 44-32. Blue Jays over the Orioles 5-2. Toronto 40-36. Baltimore 24-54. Angels over the Rays 6-4. Angels 37-40. Tampa 47-32. Braves over the Reds 4-0. Braves 37-40. Cincinnati 38-38. Tigers over the Astros 2-1 on a walk-off sac fly by Robbie Grossman. Tigers 34-44. Astros 48-30. Red Sox over the Yankees 9-2 to complete the sweep. They're 6-0 against the Yankees this year. Boston's 47-31. New York is 40-37. Phillies over the Mets 4-2. The Phillies are 36-39. Mets 40-33. Nats over the Marlins 5-1. Nats 37-38. Miami 33-44. Twins over the Indians 8-2. The Twins are 33-43. Cleveland 41-33. Brewers over the Rockies 5-0. The Brewers are 45-33. Colorado 31-47. Pirates over the Cardinals 7-2. The Pirates 29-47. St. Louis 37-41. Rangers over the Royals 4-1. The Rangers are 30-48. KC 33-43. A's over the Giants 6-2. The A's are 47-33. San Francisco 50-27. Padres over the Diamondbacks 5-4. The Padres are 47-33. Arizona is 22-57. White Sox over the Mariners 7-5 and 7. Game 2 doubleheader. Chicago 45-32 and Seattle 41-38. And the Dodgers over the Cubs 7-1 on Sunday Night Baseball. The Dodgers are 47-31. The Cubs are 42-36. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I predicted that the Dodgers would win the last 3 against the Cubs on the podcast on Friday. All right, looking ahead to tonight's games, or I should say today. 5 o'clock, you have the Pirates and the Rockies, and I'm going to go back to FanDuel for these odds. The Rockies are minus 126. The Pirates are plus 108, over under 11.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 111. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 170. Rockies minus 1.5 is plus 140. I'm going under 11.5 at minus 114, solely because I do not trust the Pirates' offense. 6:40. A makeup game. Phillies-Reds from June 2nd. Spencer Howard and Wade Miley. Reds are minus 144. Phillies are plus 122. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Phillies plus 1.5 is minus 160. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 130. I'm going to go over 9.5 at minus 106. 7 o'clock, Angels-Yankees. Dylan Bundy and Michael King. Yankees are minus 166. Angels are plus 140. Over under 10. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 137. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 114. I'm going to go over 10 at minus 115. I'm going to say Yankee offense bounces back, but I don't know if their pitching will rebound. And I don't know who wins, most importantly. So I'm going to go over 10.5. Or over 10 at minus 115. Mets Nationals. Jared Eichhoff, and we don't know what's going for Washington. If the total is less than 10, I'm taking the over. Tigers Indians. Matt Manning and Eli Morgan. Indians minus 146. Tigers plus 124. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Tigers plus 1/2 is minus 160. Indians minus 1/2 is plus 132. I'm going to go Tigers as the road dog here. Eli Morgan has been terrible, so I'm going to go with Matt Manning and the Tigers as a dog, plus 124. Royals, Red Sox. Danny Duffy and Garrett Richards. Red Sox minus 144. Royals plus 122. Over under 10.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Royals plus 1/2 is minus 160. Red Sox minus 1/2 is plus 132. Danny Duffy's been fantastic this year. I'm going to go with them as the dog, plus 122 against the Red Sox. I think this is a letdown spot for Boston after the big sweep over the Yankees. Astros hosting the Orioles at 8 o'clock. Thomas Eshelman and Zach Greinke. The Astros are minus 320. Baltimore plus 260, over under 9.5, minus 110 each way. Baltimore plus 1/2 is plus 146. Astros minus 1/2 is minus 176. We're going over 9.5 with minus 110. That's crazy of a total. All the Astro games should be in the double digits because of how well they're playing. Cubs, Brewers, Kyle Hendricks and Freddie Peralta. The Brewers are minus 144. The Cubs are plus 122. Over under 7.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Cubs plus 1/2 is minus 178. Brewers minus 1/2 is plus 146. Peralta's been fabulous this season. Kyle Hendricks has been really good too. But I don't know who wins. But I'm going to go over 7.5 plus 102. And I'm going to go on the fact that I think that one of the bullpens implodes. So I'm going to go over 7.5 and plus 102. The Twins and the White Sox. Kenta Maeda and Lucas Giolito. White Sox minus 148. The Twins are plus 126. Over under 8. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Twins plus 1/2 is minus 160. White Sox minus 1/2 is plus 132. I'm going to go over 8 at minus 118. 8:15 D-backs Cardinals. Jake Faria and Wade LeBlanc. Cardinals minus 174. Diamondbacks plus 146. Over under 9. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. D-backs plus 1/2 is minus 132. Cardinals minus 1/2 is plus 110. I'm going to go over 9 minus 104 for the pick. And last but not least, 10 o'clock, big series, Giants-Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. Anthony DeSclafani and Trevor Bauer. Dodgers minus 190, Giants plus 160, over under 8. Overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Giants plus 1/2 is minus 134. Dodgers minus 1/2 is plus 112. I think this is a prove-it series for the Giants. And I think that this is a big series for the Dodgers to get back in to where they want to be in the division race. But in terms of a play here, DeSclafani, I know, has been great this year. He's no Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is much better than Anthony DeSclafani. But for a pick here, kind of think the Dodgers offense has found themselves a little bit in these last couple games against the Cubs, so I'm going to go over 8 at minus 102. I think the Giants can potentially score a couple of runs off the Dodgers' pen and a little bit off of Bauer. I'm going to go over 8. Maybe this is a 6-3, 5-4 type of ball game, so go over 8 at minus 102. All right, now we'll do the WNBA. We'll go over the results from the weekend. And the WNBA obviously does not play on Mondays. So Friday night, Lynx over the Aces 90-89 in overtime in the Commissioner's Cup game. The Lynx are 7-7, Las Vegas 10-4. Saturday, the Wings over the Mystics 85-74. The Wings are 8-8, Washington 7-8. And the Liberty over the Dream 101-78 in the Commissioner's Cup game. Big win for the Liberty. They're 8-8. Atlanta 5-9. And then yesterday, all Commissioner's Cup games. Sun over the Sky 74-58. The Suns 10-5. Chicago 9-8. Aces over the Storm 95-92 in overtime. That was a great game as Chelsea Gray hit the game winner with 10.6 seconds left in OT. Vegas 11-4, Seattle 12-4. And the Mercury over the Sparks 88-79. The Mercury are 7-7 and LA 6-8. Alrighty, now we will go over the UEFA results from the weekend, and we will look ahead to the two games today in the round of 16. Denmark defeats Wales 4-0 to advance. So the goals in this game, Kasper Dolberg in the 27th and 48th minutes, Joachim Maley in the 88th minute, and Martin Braithwaite in the 94th minute. And Harry Wilson was red carded from this game from Wales. So Denmark advances to the quarterfinals. Italy over Austria 2-1 in AET. And what a game in the extra time. So Federico Chiesa in the 95th minute gave Italy a 1-0 lead. And then Matteo Pessina in the 105th minute put them up 2-0. And then Austria scores. It was pretty much a garbage time goal by Sasa Kaljazic in the 114th minute to put Austria on the board as Italy advances to the quarterfinal. Sunday, Czech Republic over the Netherlands 2-0. We saw a red card in this game from the Netherlands side. Matthias de Ligt in the 52nd minute. And then after Thomas Hulls in the 68th minute scores for Czech. And then Patrick Schick scores in the 80th minute to put him up 2-0. Chose Czech Republic to the quarterfinal. And Belgium over Portugal 1-0. And that goal was scored by Thorgan Hazard in the 42nd minute to send Belgium to the quarterfinal. All right, two games today, 12 o'clock on ESPN. You have Croatia and Spain. Spain is -170. Croatia is 5-1. And the tie is +270. And I mean the tie in regulation time. So Croatia was in Group D, and Spain was Group E. So for the pick, I'm going to go with Spain. They were 1-2 in Group E play, and Croatia was 1-1 in Group D play, but I don't really love Croatia. Although 5-1 would be a good bet, but I don't think they're going to win. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go with the tie +270. I think this goes into extra time. So I'm going to go +270. I think Spain ultimately wins. If there was a bet for Spain in Spain and extra time, that would be great. But there's not. And then at 3 o'clock on ESPN, you have France and Switzerland. This should be a good match. Switzerland in Group A, 1-1. And then Switzerland I'm sorry, France was in, I believe, Group D. Or no, Group F. Yeah, they won Group F. Or they placed in the top 3 in Group F. 1-2-0. Plus 1 goal differential. France is a minus 160 favorite. Switzerland's 5-1 draw plus 260. I'm going to go with France in regular time minus 160 against Switzerland for that one. And obviously we will look ahead to tomorrow's round of 16 games on tomorrow's podcast. All right, now we will do College World Series. We will go over the results from the weekend. And we will look ahead to Game 1 tonight of the College World Series. Friday, Vanderbilt over NC State 3-1. And Texas over Mississippi State 8-5. And then elimination game, Mississippi State defeated Texas 4-3. And NC State Vanderbilt ruled a no contest because of NC State and COVID protocols. So that's very unfortunate. I think Vanderbilt would have won anyway because they're just more talented than NC State. But it's just awful that NC State had to deal with this and it had to end this way for them. It reminded me of the NCAA tournament last year when, who was it that had to drop out of the tournament last year because of COVID protocols? Because this is what this is reminiscent of for me. I want to say it was whoever played Oregon. Yes, it was VCU against Oregon that was declared no contest. So this kind of reminds me of VCU in the NCAA tournament last year. All right, so the finals begin tonight. Game 1 is tonight between Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, 7 o'clock on ESPN2. It should be a great game. All from Omaha. This is something that we missed last year, obviously. And this obviously is a best of 3. Mississippi State is having a great season. They have some great talent. 3 really good players offensively: Tanner Allen, Josh Hatcher, and Rowdy Jordan. Vanderbilt is known for its pitching. Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. Rocker, a junior, and Leiter, a sophomore. They have a lot of other talented players. Rocker pitched Friday. And I think you'll see Leiter today in Game 1. And Mississippi State has some decent pitchers too. I know their starter McLeod got pulled in the game against Texas because he gave up 4 runs in less than 2 innings. And then they lost to Texas and Ty Madden the other night. And then they beat Texas again. With Stevens on the bump for Texas. And then they had Bednar on the bump as in Mississippi State. And then, so Jack Leiter going tonight. And I think that you'll see Coomer Rocker on Wednesday. So I'm going to say Vanderbilt wins tonight and Wednesday. Mississippi State probably wins tomorrow. So the pick is going to be Vanderbilt in 3 over Mississippi State. Alrighty. Now we will look ahead to the Wimbledon matches for today in each the men's and the women's side. Like I said, big podcast. Big things today. Alright, so the men's singles. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Denis Kudla. I'm going to go with Davidovich Fokina in 4 sets. John Millman and Roberto Batista Agut. Let's go with Batista Agut in 5. Andrea Seppi and Joao Sosa. I'm going to go with Seppi in 3. Jerry Vesely and Yannick Kaufman. I'm going to go Vesely in 4. Facundo Bagnis and Miomir Kekmanovic. I'm going to go with Bagnis in 5. But I don't feel good about it. Marcelo Thomas Barrios Vera and Kevin Anderson. We'll go with Anderson in 4. Marton Fuskovic and Jannik Skinner. We'll go with let's go with the upset. Fuskovic in 4. There's got to be an upset somewhere. Igor Gerasimov and Jay Clark. We're going to go with Gerasimov in 4. Gail Monfils and Christopher O'Connell. Obviously, Monfils the 13 seed. We're going to go with Monfils in 3. Mackenzie McDonald in 29 or 25 seeded Karen Kakavov. We'll go with Kakavov in 4. I was thinking Rafa Cabrera-Bellos from golf. Roberto Cabrera-Spina and Vasek Pospil. We're going to go with Carballo-Spina in 4. Oscar Ott and Arthur Rinderknecht. We're going to go with Ott in 4. 27-seeded Riley Opelka and Dominic Kofer. We're going to go with Opelka in 4. 1-seeded Novak Djokovic and Jack Draper. We're going to go Djokovic in 3. Pedro Martinez and Stefano Travaglia. We're going to go with Travaglia in 4. 5-seeded Andrei Rublev and Federico Delbonis. We're going to go with Rublev in 3. 3-seeded Stefano Tsitsipas and Francis Tiafoe. We're going to go Tsitsipas in 3. Lloyd Harris and Ricardus Berankis. We're going to go Lloyd Harris in 4. Marco Cicinato and Liam Brody. We're going to go Brody in 4. Mark Pullmans and Lu Yen Shun. We're going to go with Yen Shun in 4. 26-seeded Fabio Fognini and Albert Ramos Valonas. We're going to go Fognini in 5. 9-seeded Diego Schwartzman and Benoit Paire. We're going to go Schwartzman in 3. Dusan Lajovic and Gil Simone. We're going to go Gil Simone in 4. Pablo Cuevas and Laszlo Dare. We're going to go with Pablo Cuevas in 5. 17-seeded Christian Garin and Bernab Zapata Morales. We're going to go with Garin in 4. Kun Sawu and Daniel Mosser. We're going to go with Sawu in 5. 22-seeded Dan Evans and Feliciano Lopez. We're going to go with the upset. Feliciano Lopez in 4. 10-seeded Denis Shapovalov and Philip Kohlschreiber. We're going to go with Shapovalov in 4. Pierre Hughes Hubert and Pablo Andujar. We'll go with Andujar in 5, what I think is going to be a great match. Zhang Zizhen and Antoine Huang. We're going to go with Huang in 4. Nicolos Basilashvili, your 24 seed, against Andy Murray. We're going to go with Andy Murray in 5. And last but not least, men's first round for today, Sebastian Korda against 15-seeded Alex Demeter. We're going to go Alex Demeter in 4 sets. All right, women's singles starting today, first round. Danielle Leo and Katie Bolter. We are going to go with Bolter in 3. Svetlana Kuznetsova and Leslie Padamata Karkov. We're going to go with Kuznetsova in 2. Katie Swan and 23-seeded Madison Keys. We're going to go Keys in 2. 11-seeded Gabrielle Muguruza and Fiona Ferro. We're going to go with Muguruza in 2. 29-seeded Veronika Kudermetova and Viktorija Golubic. We're going to go with Kudermetova in 3. 32-seeded Ekaterina Alexandrova and Laura Siegman. We're going to go with Alexandrova in 3. Polona Hercog and Danielle Rose Collins. We're going to go Danielle Collins in 2. Jodiana Barrage and Lauren Davis. We're going to go with Davis in 3. Maria Camelia Osorio Serrano and Anna Kalinskaya. We're going to go with Osorio Serrano in 3. Monica Niculescu and 2-seeded Arena Sablenka. We're going to go Sablenka in 2. Wang Zinu and 4-seeded Sophia Kenin. We're going to go Kenin in 2. Misaki Doi and Claire Liu. We're going to go with Claire Liu in 2. Christian and Heather Watson. We're going to go Heather Watson in 3. Varvara Gracheva and 26-seeded Petra Martic. We're going to go Martic in 3. Marie Buskova and Vera Zvonareva. We're going to go Zvonareva in 3. Arena Camelia Begu and Katie Volinets. We're going to go Begu in 3. Madison Brangle and Christina McHale. We're going to go Brangle in 3. 22-seeded Jessica Pegula and Caroline Garcia. Let's go Caroline Garcia with the seeding upset. Let's go Garcia in 3. Solane Stevens and 10-seeded Petra Kvitova. We're going to go Kvitova in 3. Donna Vechik and Anastasia Potapova. We're going to go Vechik in 3. An Lee and Nadia Podoroska. We're going to go Podoroska in 3. 8-seeded Carolina Pliskova and Tamara Zinacek. We're going to go Pliskova in 2. Kristina Mladenovic and 18-seeded Elena Rabakina. We're going to go Rabakina in 3. Teresa Martinkova and Allison Risk. We're going to go with your 28-seeded Allison Risk in 3. 7-seeded Iga Swiatek and Hisei Sui. We're going to go Swiatek in 2. Ludmila Samsonova and Kaya Kanepi. We're going to go with Samsonova in 3. Mihaila Buzernescu and Venus Williams. We're going to go Venus in 2. Let's go a little ballsy here. 15-seeded Maria Sakkari and Aranxa Rose. We're going to go with Sakkari in 2. Shelby Rogers and Samantha Stosur. We're going to go Shelby Rogers in 2. 13-seeded Elise Mertens and Harriet Dart. We're going to go with Mertens in 2. 21-seeded Ons Jabeur and Rebecca Peterson. Let's go with the upset. Peterson in 3. And last but not least, Zhu Lin and Mona Barthel. We'll go Zhu Lin in 3 for that one. All right, so there you have it for the Wimbledon action for today. Obviously, we will look ahead to tomorrow's matches on tomorrow's podcast. Now we will go over the results from the Travelers Championship from the weekend. And your winner with a score of 13 under in the playoff, it was Harry English, who won a playoff by a score of 31 and a score of 13 under. And in second place with 13 under and a playoff score of 32, Kramer Hickcock. So, great ending to this tournament for sure. It lived up to the hype. Third place with a score of 12 under, Mark Leishman. Fourth place with a score of 11 under, Abraham Answer. Tied for fifth with 10 under, Bryce Garnett, Brian Harmon, Kevin Kisner, Brooks Koepka, and Hank Lebioda. Tied for 10th with 9 under, Sepp Straka, my pick of Jason Day, and Beau Hossler. Tied for 13th with 8 under, Adam Scott, Andrew Putnam, Sam Burns, Guido Migliozzi, and Mark Hubbard. Tied for 19th with 7 under, Bryson DeChambeau, Seamus Power, Bubba Watson, Lucas Herbert, Russell Henley, and Robert Streb. Tied for 30th with 5 under, Maverick McNeely, Charlie Hoffman, Cam Smith, Stuart Sink, Brendan Todd, and Brock Stewart. Tied for 36 with 4 under, Justin Rose, Matt Jones, J.B. Holmes, Joaquin Neiman, Kevin Chappell, Troy Merritt, Ian Poulter, Paul Casey, Taylor Gooch, Jonas Blixt, and Satoshi Kodiara. Tied for 47th with 300, Harold Varner III, Tom Lewis, Carlos Ortiz, Scotty Scheffler, Kevin Na, J.J. Spawn, and Austin Eckroat. Tied for 54th with 2 under, Cameron Percy, Doug Gim, Tyler Duncan, Ryan Moore, Sam Ryder, Kyle Stanley, and Peter Malnati. Tied for 61st with 1 under, Henrik Norlander, Doc Redman, Phil Mickelson, Ryan O'Moore, and Andrew Svoboda. Tied for 66th at even, Taylor Hoge, Kevin Tway, Aaron Weiss, and Robbie Shelton. Now notables, tied for 70th with 1 over, Lucas Griffin. Tied for 73rd with 2 over was Dylan McCarthy, Kang-Hoon Lee. Tied for 76th with 3 over, Patrick Rogers, Mackenzie Hughes. Will Gordon was 79th with 9 over. And then among those cut, Cam Triangle, Adam Schenk, Sebastian Munoz, Brendan Steele, Richie Rowensky, Emiliano Grillo, Scott Stallings, Danny Lee, Chris Kirk, Rafa Carrera-Bello, Russell Knox, Chris Koepka, Tony Finau, Adam Hadwin, Ricky Fowler, Adam Long, Bo Van Pelt, Lucas Donald, and Wyndham Clark. So, was a good tournament, fun finish. All right, now we will do NASCAR results from the weekend. Don't forget there are 4 races due to the doubleheader at Pocono, and we will go over the truck series results first from Pocono. And your winner was John Hunter Nemechek, which should come to no surprise. Second place, Kyle Busch. Third place, Sheldon Creed. Fourth, Tyler Rankin. Fifth, Austin Hill. Sixth, Matt Crafton. Seventh, Todd Gilliland. Eighth, Zane Smith. Ninth, Ryan Preece. 10th, Derek Kraus. 11th, Josh Berry. 12th, Christian X. 13th, Carson Hosfar. 14th, Ty Majeski. 15th, Chase Purdy. 16th, Tanner Gray. 17th, Ben Rhodes. 18th, Ryan Truex. 19th, Austin Wayne. 12th, 20th, Lawless Alon. The rest: Tate Fogelman, Howie DeCivino in the third. Racist Sorelli, Tyler Hill, Chandler Smith, Haley Deegan, Spencer Boyd, Josh Rumi, Todd Peck, Chris Frey, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Norm Benning, Stuart Friesen, Brian Dawsett, Johnny Sauter, Grant Effinger, Bailey Curry, Danny Bone, and Jack Wood. All right, the Xfinity results from Pocono, and your winner, Austin Cindric, which comes to no surprise. Second, Ty Gibbs. Third, Justin Allgaier. Fourth, Noah Gragson. Fifth, AJ Allmendinger. Sixth, Daniel Hemrick. Seventh, Brandon Jones. Eighth, Jed Burton. Ninth, Josh Berry. 10th, Matt Snyder. The rest: Brett Moffitt, Michael Annette, Jeremy Clements, Santino Ferrucci, Brendan Brown, Alex Ladd, Brian Sieg, Sam Meyer, Jade Buford, Tommy Joe Martins, Landon Castle, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Matt Mills, Colby Howard, Austin Hill, Kyle Weatherman, Loris Hesmans, Carson Ware, Jesse Little, Mason Massey, Jesse Iwuji, Joe Graff Jr., David Starr, Blaine Perkins, Riley Herbst, Joey Gase, Harrison Burton, Justin Haley, Ryan Vargas, and Josh Williams. All right, Cup results. 2 races. We'll start with Saturday at Pocono. And your winner from Saturday, Alec Bowman. Second, Kyle Busch. Third, William Byron. Fourth, Denny Hamlin. Fifth, Ryan Blaney. Sixth, Kurt Busch. Seventh, Joey Logano. Eighth, Kevin Harvick. Ninth, Carl Larson. 10th, Brad Keselowski. The rest: Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola, Chris Bell, Martin Truex Jr., Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Chase Briscoe, Cody Ware, Anthony Alfredo, Justin Haley, James Davison, Garrett Smithley, BJ McLeod, Quinn Houff, Matt DiBenedetto, Ross Chasen, Josh Bilicki, Tim Hill, Corey LaJoie, Ryan Newman, and Cole Custer. So I believe I picked Kyle Busch for race 1. And race 2, I picked Denny Hamlin. And Kyle Busch won the Sunday race. And second place was Kyle Larson. Third, Brad Keselowski. Fourth, Kevin Harvick. Fifth, Bubba Wallace. Sixth, Ryan Blaney. Seventh, Alec Bowman. Eighth, Ryan Preece. And it has an asterisk by it for some reason. Ninth, Tyler Reddick. 10th, Joey Logano. The rest: Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin. That was my pick. Daniel Suarez, Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, Matt DiBenedetto, Chris Buescher, Kurt Busch, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Newman, Corey LaJoie, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, Ross Chasen, Chase Elliott, Cody Ware, BJ McLeod, James Davison, Eric Jones, Chris Bell, Quinn Houff, Anthony Alfredo, Josh Bilicki, Garrett Smithy, Timmy Hill, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And if I'm not mistaken, coming up this weekend, I thought it was Daytona. It's actually Road America in Wisconsin, just Cup and Xfinity this weekend for the 4th of July. So, no, I thought it was Daytona because Daytona was always 4th of July weekend in the past, but now they're in Wisconsin. All right, now I want to talk about the Script Spelling Bee a little bit. It's underway, and this normally goes on in the month of June, at the same time as like the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals, but now it's going on. And I want to discuss it a little bit. which obviously canceled last year due to COVID. So we're in round 9 as of right now. And the latest result was by a boy named Vyun Krishna. And the word was scabious, but he spelt it incorrectly and spelled it Scabius. He was close. There's an O that's supposed to be between the I and the U. So the rest of the spellers from this round, and then spellers eliminated in this round finished in a 12th place tie. A boy named Roy Seligman, and then the sponsor, the Ministry of Education, went and spelt the word petite correct. And then a boy named Eric Williams, the sponsor WJXT, had orismology. He missed the word by one letter, said an I instead of a Y. Or it's spelled with an I, not a Y. And then Anaya Gotnam, sponsored by the McKean Group, was eliminated. Had the sentence, and she spelt it out like this in science, and she missed a T. Bhavana Madini, sponsored by the New York City Regional Spelling Bee, got the word monoceros correct. Sarithan Gajula, sponsored by the Carolina Panthers, got the word slow correct. SLOE. Which is another term for a blackthorn slaw. Actually, not slow. That's my bad. Ashrita Gandhari, sponsored by Loudoun County Public Schools, advances by getting the word asteristics correct. Avani Joshi of the Boone Weinbago Regional Office of Education correctly spelt the word lopophytosis. Zayla Avant-Garde, sponsored by the New Orleans chapter of the Lynx, correctly spelt the word solid on God. I can't even pronounce these words. It's Solidungolte, I think is the correct pronunciation. And the definition was a mammal having a single hoof on each foot. It's a zoology word. Solidungolte, I think is the correct pronunciation. I really don't know. Vivincia Verdu of TCU sponsored got the word Paravan right. Dhruv Barita of Dallas Sports Commission got the word calamus right. Now I'm just going to say the names of the contestants that either move on or not because of time restrictions. I can't wing the pronunciations of these words. Vihan Sabal of Rappaport Holdings, LLC advances. Ashkanin Kama of West Austin Chamber of Commerce advances. Maya Jadav of Wisconsin State Journal does not advance. Chitara Thamula of Bay Area Regional Spelling Bee sponsor advances. And Vayun Krishna of Bay Area Regional Spelling Bee does not advance. And then obviously round 10, I believe, will be tonight or tomorrow. I really don't remember. All right, now quickly, I'm going to do my MLB power rankings. I was going to do a theme this week of why each team is where they are. I might do it with a couple teams that I want to speak about, but I'm not going to do it for every team. Number 30 is the Arizona Diamondbacks. This team is just a mess. They literally are a disaster. Had that big losing streak, both in general and the road losing streak. They're going to be a seller at the deadline. 29, the Baltimore Orioles. They're going to finish last in the division. Worst record in the American League. 28, the Texas Rangers. They really have fallen off after a promising start to the season. 27, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were been kind of a little better than I expected them to be. 26, the Colorado Rockies. It's a question of when, not if, they're going to trade Trevor Story. 25, the Kansas City Royals. I feel like this team has overachieved a little bit, even though it looks like that they are trending down. 24, the Detroit Tigers. I feel like they've overachieved this year a little bit too. 23, the Miami Marlins. They have a good run differential, but they're just bad record-wise. 22, the Minnesota Twins. Starting to come around a little bit. 21, the Arizona Cardinals. What a disappointment for for the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't think anybody thought they'd be this bad. 37-41 on the year. Mike Schilt has not done that great of a job. I feel like that's a manager on the hot seat. 20, the Los Angeles Angels. They're 3 under 500. Shohei Ohtani has just been single-handedly the reason why this team is only 3 under 500. Hopefully Mike Trout's back for this team soon. 19, the Philadelphia Phillies. They just continue to underachieve. Joe Girardi, that guy, everybody thought that he was going to save the day and rue the day. And same for Bryce Harper, but disappointing era of Phillies baseball, for sure. 18, the Atlanta Braves. This team has just been derailed by injury and underachievement. If Brian Snitker loses his job because of this season, it's just stupid. Because Mike Soroka's hurt. A lot of other players on this team are hurt. And it's just not their year. I feel bad for the Braves. It's not like a team that I'm going to get to a couple moments I'm about to go on a rant on. But I feel sorry for the Braves. Number 17, the Seattle Mariners. They've been a big-time overachiever this year. I think that the manager has done a good job with that team, and some of their young players have really blossomed. Number 16, the Cincinnati Reds. They're pretty much mediocre. They're 500. Number 15, the Washington Nationals. They've come around a little bit after a slow start. The question is, do they trade Max Scherzer? I think they should, but if they're still in the race maybe like 2 back of the wild card or still in that division mix. Then I keep Max Scherzer. And obviously he's a free agent, so it's a tricky situation. Number 14, the New York Yankees. This has been an utter disappointment for this team. This team's been lazy. This team really just doesn't seem to care. I think Aaron Boone, there's no manager on a hotter seat than Aaron Boone. This guy is not a good manager. I've said that on my podcast a lot. I think it's time. I won't be shocked if he doesn't survive the season. I think there's a chance that Brian Cashman gets fired. If Danny Ainge can get fired from the Boston Celtics, Brian Cashman can get fired from the New York Yankees. And not one person a year ago would have predicted that Danny Ainge would have been fired from the Boston Celtics, but here we are. And the Yankees, to me, are the Boston Celtics of this year. The Boston Celtics in the NBA would show flashes. Oh, they're back. They're not. Same with the Yankees. This team has been beating up on bad teams all year. The Red Sox are 6-0 against them. And if something doesn't change, then the Yankees are in for some rough days. Not just this year, but potentially the next couple years. They traded for Giancarlo Stanton a while ago. They probably traded for the wrong ex-Brewer. If they had Christian Yelich on this team, they probably have championships. I'm sorry. Giancarlo Stanton's a good player when he's healthy, but he's not Christian Yelich. I'm sorry. And they should have traded for Garrett Cole a couple years sooner. There's a lot of reasons why this team is where they is. And if they traded for Garrett Cole sooner, then they don't have 2 liabilities on their team in Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar from a standpoint of offensive and defense for both of them, really. They're not the players who the Yankees thought they were going to be. I'm sorry. That's a big reason why they are where they are. And there's some bad luck in it, for sure, yeah. But this Yankees team needs to turn around ASAP, or else they are in for some big-time trouble. And Brian Cashman, there's no pressure, no GM under more pressure at this deadline than Brian Cashman, and you can't convince me otherwise. All right, Yankees ran over. Number 13, the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are a little bit overrated. I just think that they've just been beating up on the Orioles all year. And even the Yankees, another thing. They're 6-4 against the Orioles. You need to be 10-0 against the Orioles. I'm sorry. And back to the Blue Jays for a second. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is just single-handedly the reason why they're over 500. That guy's just special. Alek Manoah showed some promise as a young pitcher. Hyun-Jin Ryu's been solid throughout the year. 12th, the New York Mets, they're in first, but I don't think they're that good. The sole reason why they're in first place is Jacob deGrom and his masterfulness. They've had a ton of injuries all season long. I think Luis Rojas has done a nice job. Gotta hand it to him. You're in first place, but you're in a weak division. I get it. But they should not be this many games above 500 with all the injuries they have sustained. And even deGrom's been hurt on and off, and that guy is single-handedly the reason why they are where they are. And that's another thing with the Yanks. Garrett Cole's not Jacob deGrom. I'm sorry. And they need him to be Jacob deGrom, and he's not. And they need him to be Jacob deGrom if they want to go anywhere special, is what I mean. 11, the Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians are a good team. Shane Bieber, still Shane Bieber. Some of their offensive pieces have been playing well. Maybe it's Ewing theory without Lindor, which I doubt. But we'll see. Number 10, the Chicago Cubs. I'm proud of the Cubs. They've really have done a nice job. David Ross has done a good job this year, but he might be the NL's version of Aaron Boone come playoff time. Unfortunately. Maybe I'm just judging because they got swept by the Marlins in the COVID playoffs. But we'll see with the Cubs. They got to make a move at the deadline. I think that their front office is under some pressure to make a move at the deadline too, if they want to win the NL Central. 9, the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox, I think, are a good team. They, to me, I don't think Tony La Russa's a good manager anymore. I think he's a washed-up manager. And you could argue the same about Joe Girardi on the other side. in the National League. But La Russa is not a good manager. I think if what holds him back, it's going to be Tony La Russa. And the White Sox, I think, have to make a move at the deadline. They have a lot of injuries, too. I get it. But they got to make a move in their outfield at the trade deadline for me if they want to do some big things in October. Number 8, the Oakland Athletics. They're really good. I know they've had a couple setbacks losing that series to the Yankees. They lost a game to Texas last week. I like this Oakland team. They have good pitching. They have some good hitting. And then, obviously, a really good bullpen. Number 7, the Tampa Bay Rays. I think the loss of Tyler Glasnow could cost this team the American League East. This team, I think, has to go out and acquire a pitcher if they want to win the AL East and replace Glasnow. I think that Kevin Cash, yet again, has gotten the best out of his guys. And Wander Franco's up, which is a good thing. And I think that that guy's a big key for them going forward. Not just this season, obviously, long term. 6, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers are good. The Brewers I was wrong about. I'll pat myself on the back and admit I was wrong with the Milwaukee Brewers. Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff is a good top 3 in that rotation. I was doubting them because of their pitching staff. They have formed themselves a nice top 3. Got to hand it to Milwaukee. They have a good offense. They can absolutely win this division. It's going to be a good battle between them and the Cubs. It'd be good if the Cardinals turn it around, just so they could have a third team in there. But we'll see. To me, the Cardinals and the Yankees are the 2 teams, as I talked about earlier, under the most pressure to do something at the deadline. Both their managers are on the hot seat, in my opinion. And I think it's an utter disaster that those 2 teams are where they are. I mean, the Yankees are lucky they're over 500 because of the reasons I just mentioned and because of the injuries that they have sustained as well. And that I didn't even mention while talking about them. And the Cardinals, to me, what a disappointment. But back to Milwaukee. Good story. They should make the postseason. I think they got to make a move at the deadline, too, if they're serious about being all in. 5, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are not in first place, surprisingly. But they won their last 3 against the Cubs. Clayton Kershaw looked like Clayton Kershaw last night. Trevor Bauer's been great. So has Walker Buehler. And they're starting to get some guys back from injury like Cody Bellinger, so that's good. Number 4, the San Diego Padres. This team's awesome. No team has a better collection of assets in terms of trade potential than the Padres to me. I think that team can go out and make a monster move and establish themselves as a huge favorite in the National League. Number 3, the Boston Red Sox. What a story. Managers can make a difference if we learn anything in baseball this year. The Red Sox underachieved last year because of the Astros cheating scandal and the punishment that was given to Alex Cora. Alex Cora's back and this team's back. Their pitching, I think, has overachieved this season. Yet again. They're getting Chris Sale back, which is huge. And if he sucks, then that's a problem. But if he's good, then this team is a real World Series contender. Are they a World Series contender right now? I think they're more of a pretender. And I think that the Yankees are worse than people think for the reasons I mentioned earlier in the podcast. And I think that they may take advantage of some Tampa issues. But to me, the Red Sox need to make a couple moves at the deadline. They have to improve their rotation, and they can use the bat as well in their lineup. I don't love Marwin Gonzalez. I think first base could use some help. And they could get a veteran in their infield to go with Bogarts and Devers. And they could be set. Number 2, the San Francisco Giants. What a story. Best record in baseball. Good pitching staff. Their offense is great. They're literally to me, the team that I did not see coming in terms of a good team. Them and obviously Boston, who we just talked about. But more so San Francisco. Because Boston has the offense to be a contender. But I just think that they need some tweaks in terms of role players. San Francisco's pitching has been fabulous. We talked about Anthony DeSclafani. Alex Cobb has been really good for them. Their bullpen's been solid. But I think the Giants got to make a move. I don't know what that move's going to be. I think that they should be looking for bats to go with what they currently have. So I'm interested to see what San Francisco does at the deadline. And number one, the Houston Astros. They're just rocking and rolling. They just had a winning streak snapped. Although they did lose their last game against the Tigers, which isn't good. But to me, the Astros are the best team. Zach Greinke's fabulous. They might get Justin Verlander back. Maybe. Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez. They have a great cast of characters. And I think that Dusty Baker is doing a great job with this team for the second year in a row as they're following up the ALCS appearance from last year with this year. All right, quick news and notes. I mean, very, very quick news and notes today. Blazers are hiring Chauncey Billups. We talked about that possibility on the show as the former Clippers assistant agrees to a 5-year deal to become the Blazers coach. There's some talk, according to Yahoo, that the backlash from the Blazers for head coaching search and title contention have become factors that might force Damian Lillard to request a trade, so keep an eye on that. We talked about the spelling bee. The All-Star finalists are announced. Astros have 7 players. Dodgers, Cubs, and Blue Jays have 5. We'll go over the finalists on tomorrow's podcast. The official Team USA for the gymnastics team: Simone Biles, Jordan Chills, Suni Lee, Grace McCollum, Michaela Skinner, and Jade Carey. So that's your gymnastics team. No Lori Hernandez this year. So we'll see how that goes. I still like Team USA. I love Simone Biles. I think she's the best gymnast on the planet. And I think that they're in good shape. Trae Young is getting an MRI on his ankle after he left Game 3 with an ankle injury. And he came back in the game as well. Kawhi's out tonight. Mike Breen, in the middle of Game 4 last night, couldn't resist having some fun as Kawhi Leonard sat socially after Paul George's jumper got the Staples Center rocking. So that was funny that Mike Breen had a little moment on the broadcast. Chris Paul shrugged off questions about a 3-1 series lead. I don't have good experiences with that, he said. Obviously referring to the Clippers series from 6 years ago. Trae Young also took responsibility after the Game 2 loss. The Magic are interviewing Penny Hardaway for their head coaching job and has emerged as a serious candidate. There was an amazing WWE gender reveal as it was really, really cool. Just check it out on YouTube. There was a fan that caused a huge crash in the Tour de France as a spectator holding a cardboard sign caused dozens of cyclists to crash in a wild pileup. We talked about NC State being eliminated from the College World Series because of COVID-19 protocols. Tom Brady has compassion for Naomi Osaka, who had to step away from tennis to focus on mental health. Bryce Harper and Jose Abreu exited their respective games over the weekend due to hit by pitches. Mike Soroka retore his Achilles while walking to the clubhouse at Truist Park. So that's unfortunate for Atlanta, not getting Mike Soroka back for the rest of the season. Joel Armia in COVID-19 protocol as he missed practice yesterday. So a little COVID outbreak for the Canadians here. And then Vegas, too. Their GM had it. Vegas' coach might be coming back is coming back to Game 3 as he'll end his isolation period and will come back for Game 3 against the Lightning. And now Joel Armia is in protocol. An ex-Blackhawks coach knew of the sexual assault claims against Bradley Aldrich in 2010. Alec Martinez played on a broken foot the entire postseason. That's wild. You would have never thought that because Alec Martinez was a beast in that series. Not only against Montreal, but against Colorado as well. And that might cost him some money in free agency. We had our first failed foreign substance check. Mariners lefty Hector Santiago was the first pitcher ejected after umpires found something on his glove in between innings in a check. And Tom Brady wasn't talking about Mitch Trubisky when he said, "You're sticking with that mother effer." I don't even know who he was talking about. I thought he was talking about Mitch Trubisky, but was he talking about Cam Newton? Was he talking about Cam Newton? Maybe. Was he taking a shot at the Patriots? I don't know. But I want to know who he's talking about here. All right. Last but not least, my best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going over 9.5 in the Astros-Orioles game. The Astro overs since yesterday have been money. I'm going to lay a unit on this. So I'm going to go over 9.5 and minus 106 between the Astros and the Orioles for my best bet of the day. Alrighty. Podcast tomorrow will be another big show, recapping everything going on, looking ahead to tomorrow, news and notes, and best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.